over here. Okay, and the error that we were handling was coming from our user model. Okay, so we were throwing an exception error. Okay, so uh, well, what we were supposed to do is we are supposed to get that error over here and work with it. Okay, so for now I will just say console log error, and in our postman only now we will try and run this guy. Fine, so now I should say uh, yarn start, and we have a post request of login. Definitely not this big of the request. And password can be anything random, right? And if I post this, we are getting an empty errors pack, but over here we are getting a proper log of our error, and it says incorrect details. So it is the message, and if I say error dot message, just console log the error dot message, it should for me console log this. Now in my user controller, I guess for our user login, yep, we are already saying console log error over here. So let's not do this, and instead we will just say this. Fine. Okay. Now if I save it uh, and try and send it, we should see incorrect details. Okay. Now I can use this and say if error dot message is triple equal to incorrect details, all right, we will return headers dot password. Okay, we will say address dot password equals to incorrect details, all right, or we can also say error dot message. Chalo. So hopefully it gives us our proper errors body. Yeah, now it just says incorrect details. I can handle it in the email side and as well as the password side, but I don't want the person that is trying to log in to know whether he has entered the incorrect user or an incorrect detail. So let's see, if we have a user and the password is wrong, we are sending out incorrect details. But we can also do this. If the user was not found, we can say invalid user. Chalo. Or we can say better user not found, but let's just not do like that. Chalo. So all you have to do is just create one more this, and now hopefully it should say invalid user. Yep, it says invalid user. And the reason that I am handling it in the front end is sorry, in with the password only is I will tell the later reason while we are making our login.ejs. Okay, chalo. So let's just backspace this guy out, and with this keep it like this only. So now that is one thing handled. What we want to do apart from this, we also want to handle it in the front end, right? So what I will do is hide this guy first, and I will open up my login.ejs file. Fine. And yeah, as usual, be a lazy guy, copy paste the script from somewhere. Okay, if you can find this on the internet, find it and copy and paste it. Don't mind typing it in. No professional developer does that. Okay, especially our seniors now, they never they will just, if we ask them anything now, they will send us a link. Okay, try and copy paste this code like that on those stuff. Okay, That is just some life lessons for you. But try and don't do that in your early stages while learning, especially. Don't copy and paste code. Even if this line of code, like these 4 lines of code, is as same as this 4 lines of code, just type it out. It will help you remember it. It's also okay. Chalo. So now, um, what we are doing is creating our login. Okay. So you see, we have email error and password error. We don't have a confirmed password error, so I will remove this as well, and remove this as well. Chalo. Okay, so I have not started recording. Chalo. So for now, um, we have this. Let's remove this as well, and I don't think there should be anything else much to change. Fine. Yeah, we are getting our email and password from our form only, and this should be login. The method will be post and body will be the same. We are not doing anything special. Hmm. Well, so what we can do now, we can see if we are getting this properly. We also need to create this. Okay, and yeah, this will be our post request response dot render, and it should render the login page with the title. Title will be login. Yep, definitely it needs to be an object. Chalo. So hopefully this works, and also this guy works. And in our front end, if I go to localhost for not 5000, I have been working with 5000 since the morning. All right, we are not getting. Oh yeah, chalo. So we have this. We also need to edit our this guy. So apart from login, we now have a post request and get request as well. Hello. This should be the get request, and this will be our post request. All right. So we have successfully launched our page. I want to delete all of this. I will show you how to do that. It is known as seeding, or delete many is there. Seeding is like inserting data. Okay. Fine. Now let's click over here, and we have log out. We can click on login and try and submit this. Okay, we do get our error saying that it is incorrect details. Okay, and in our console we also have an object. It says errors with the password of incorrect details. All right. Well, uh, that's fine. All good. No problem. What about putting in a proper user? Now I don't remember if we have a proper user. All right, so we can just say test123 and send the request. Yep, we do get a user, and we have to say test at the rate email and the email is supposed to be this. All right, and over here we do get our user, and with that, hopefully in our application we also get a JWT. Okay, so our web token is being stored and everything is working great. But we need to use this. You don't want to see this logout every time. Only if there is a no user in there we want to show logout, else you don't want to show it. Even here, if the user is logged in, he does not need to see the sign up page. And even if the user is logged out, he should not be able to create a new block. So that is where conditional rendering and protection comes in. Okay, so for now everything works fine, all well and good. But I want to work with our sign up route now. Given that, you see, even though it logs in, it creates a new user, but it does not send a proper JWT so that the user is logged in then. So what I want to do is I can just copy this, and before sending the user, I will just say something like this. Fine. Uh, Now definitely, mm, where is my token now? All right. Yep. So this is the where my token is there. Let's just keep it at the very top over here so that everybody knows what's going on. Okay. Chalo. So hopefully all our controllers and this are working. So yeah, we have our JWT. We have it being sent over here as well. Okay, fine. So this should work. And next thing that we want to do is we want to protect the route. Okay, chalo. So let's close all this stuff over here. And the route that we want to protect is the new blog route. We only want the user who is logged in to be able to access this route. Okay, well, how do we do that? You see, while working with middlewares, I showed you one middleware, that was this guy. We can use him for protecting stuff. Now you can also do it in the very place that you are protecting the route, so not inside here. Obviously you can also do it before this in here, but there is a far more better way, because if the user finds something that can skip that part, okay, and he comes over here, he should not be meeting this endpoint. We don't want him to render stuff. Chalo, so what I would like to do is I would like to go to blog routes. All right, and you see we have our post route and then our test guy. So this is where you place your this. So we will create a route saying check user. Okay, let's just rename it check user. Check user.js, and we will say check user. All right, so let's see. We have request, response, and the next object. Next object allows you to move ahead. Okay, so if nothing is wrong, we will allow the user to access this part of our server. Okay, so how do you do that? See, we don't have anything to work with. The only thing that we can work with is with our JWT. Now what we will be doing is we will be taking this JWT over here and checking if it is there. If it is there, okay, so we'll just create a pseudo code. All right, so we'll say if jwt is here, we will say okay, check if valid. All right, if valid, we will say continue, else we will throw error. Okay, and if we don't have a jwt, we will redirect to login page. Okay, chalo. So what we will do is, if we need to get our token, right? So we need to get our jwt. So I will say const token equals to request dot cookies. All right, so cookies come with our request. Every time the request is being made, we will be accessing our cookie, the jwt cookie. Okay, let me just make this bigger for you so that you guys can see. Okay, so our we have this jwt cookie. So I will say request dot cookies dot jwt, and over here I will say if token. All right, so if we have a token, I will say jwt. Let's remove this pseudo code for now. Okay, so we will say jwt dot verify. All right, and with jwt dot verify, we need to pass in our token. Then we need to pass in our secret. So just the way we created our jwt, the same way we decode it. Okay, chalo. So we will say dot secret, and yeah, the third thing you need to pass in is a callback function. So async. So we have an asynchronous function in here, and then you will say decoded token. Now this decoded token comes with this function from our token. All right, so it is essentially a callback function which runs after these two are completed. Okay, chalo. So we will do something like if we have an error, we will say response dot locals dot uh, no, you won't be doing that. This is for mm, uh, what will do? Yeah, we will just console log the error. Okay, yeah, we will redirect the user. Okay, so we will do this dot redirect login. Okay, fine. If we don't have an error, so I will be using the else block. I will just console log the decoded token so that I can show you guys how it looks like. Okay, chalo, and we will say next. But what if we don't have a token? Well, even if you don't have a token, we will just say res dot redirect log in. Fine, and we can save this for now, and hopefully it works. And yeah, chalo. So let's go back and go to our new blog. Okay, so it does not work. Yeah, instead of doing this now, we can protect both of these routes. Okay, so let's try and go back to our new block. Yeah, it says jwt is not defined. Now this is from our user because we have not imported jwt. So I will say const jwt equals to require JSON web token. Spelling mistake. Sorry. Hello. Let's hit enter. Okay. So yeah, right now we have our JWT. That is why if I try and remove it and hit enter now, it takes me to this part. And uh, let's say email. Yeah. So test at the rate 123. We should get. Hmm, well, test at the rate email.com, and we have test 123, right? Hopefully it works. Yeah, it works. And now we can go to our new blog, and as well as we can also create a new blog. This is a secure blog. All right. And we have snippet. This is secure. Mm, this is the secure body. And if I submit it, hopefully, yeah, it does say this is the secure blog. Now you see, whenever we are submitting this, it is it is showing the oldest first and then the latest one last. So I would like to sort it. So how do we do that? Sort in Mongoose. Hmm, yeah, so we have this updated at. Okay, so let's go to our server again, and well, we don't have our updated ad blog. And the way you do that is, if we go to the blog model, you need to pass in timestamps. It should be true. Now with every block we will get a timestamp, but you see this will break the logic that our consistency should be there, and the new blocks won't have the timestamp. Let me just show it to you. If we give to new block, we will say this has timestamp. Okay, and let's enter some random. Yep. And over here, yeah, you see we have created at and updated at as well. Chalo. So what we can do is we can use this created at to sort our blocks. So I will say dot find. And how did this guy do? So we have, yeah, we want to sort by descending, and hopefully we need to say dot sort, and it should be created at -1. Chalo. Fine. Let's go back to our home page. Send it. Yeah, you see the last one, recent one came first. And yeah, since the rest don't have, so we will have to clean them up. We will clean all this dirt. I will show you what is seeding and why and how we do that. All right. So apart from this, you want to, now that we have our logs secure, we can use the JWT to conditionally render out stuff. So you don't want to see log out. Okay, you don't want to see the sign up as well because you already have your JWT. You want to see login and sign up over here. Chalo. So how do we do that? Well, in our check user, instead of saying check user now, what I will do is I will say require user. All right, and let's just copy it, paste it over here, and in this uh, so we have this one, and let's say user checks. Does it work? Yeah. Now it should work. Yes, it does work. Chalo. So instead of saying one more, we will create and we will do const check user. No, not this. We will say check user. So this will also take our request response and then the next object, and then we will say const token equals to request dot cookies dot jwt. Okay, chalo. So let's just first create this logic, and yeah, now you see it is mostly the same, but it differs somehow. I don't want to brainstorm myself. We can, you guys can do it. Try something. Okay. So we'll see if we have a token, we will say do something over here. Else, we will say do something. So the that do something is I want to definitely pass the code. We don't want to be stuck over here. Don't want to throw an error because we are just checking for the user. Let's just do this, and we can say check user. And does it break mine? We will say console log. Okay, so route.get requires a function but got an object. Okay, now it should work. Yeah, chalo. So we are in our token. Okay, so the thing that was doing the mistake over here was, you see, we were passing this out as an object. Now, when you pass something out as an object, it can be called as anything. And if you just say like this, now your required user, it will be an entire object containing this two. So the required user and check user will be wrapped inside the required user. But as soon as you put in this bracket now, it will look inside the coming object for the required user module. Okay, so that is why it was giving us an other error saying that requires a callback function but got an object. Now all of these are callbacks. Okay, chalo. Let's close this and hit Control J for ourselves. Hello. So if we have a token, we will check if our token is valid. So this logic comes in place again, and we will say jwt.verify the token. And instead of saying response.redirect, we will say response.locals. Okay. Now locals inside the response uh, are variables that are not sent while you are working with your renderers. Okay, so over here you see, while we were passing creating our renders, we were passing manually this, but you want to don't want to do all the logic over here or over here, right? Whenever you are working with the request, you want to pass in something over there. So we'll say over here we are using the locals. Now this is by default in there, and then we have our user which we'll be setting in there, and our user will be um, user. All right. uh, no, well, this is bad. um, okay, if we have an error, what we'll do is we will say null. All right, and in our this, now we don't have this thing. Else, if we have a decoded token, okay, so if we have a decoded token, it means that we don't need to worry about our this, there is no error over there. Okay, so we can now say if no user sorry, if we have an error, if no, well, you don't want to handle error again, so we will show let user equals to await user. All right, so now we are querying our database and checking if our user is valid or not. So you can do it over here as well, but yeah, I know I'm doing it wrong. So what we can do now, await user dot find by id, and we can do decoded token dot id. So we were creating our token with an id, right? So that is our decoded token. And now we can check if we don't have a user. We will say response dot locals, and over here the user will be null. Else if we have our user, then we can say res dot locals dot user equals to user. Chalo. So you can cross your fingers, and you see if we don't have a token, we should be sending in a user with null object. Hello. So now this was a mouthful that we took in. So we can say we can just revise it. So we created a check user, and in that we took the token just like we said over here, and then we verified it. And if it was verified, we did this. Else, we just sent the locals dot user to be null. Okay. For you, I will also console log the response object over here. Now we want to use this guy. You don't want it to be like this only. So just like our this middleware, you can say in your index.js only na, you can say app, okay, app dot get, okay. So we will say get. So and then we can now say star, all right. So star means every request, and then we will pass in the check user function. So we'll say check user. All right. So we will go inside our check user every time we do any kind of request. Fine. So hopefully, yeah, we don't have any others. And let's go to the home page. And we already have an error. So it says cannot set property user of undefined. Fine. So mhm, mhm. Okay. So well, we are supposed to find locals over here. If it is not there, I will be damned. Headers we are getting. You see, this is the cookie that is coming for us. Okay, and then these are the raw headers. Okay, and we have our method. Just give me a second, huh, guys. All right, sorry for that. We should have locals. Yeah, we do have locals. Okay, so for some reason, our response dot. So let's try this and go down. Yeah, we do get an object, and it comes as null prototype object. Response dot locals dot user. Okay, so what can be the problem now? I also don't understand the very thing. Mm, well, it is supposed to response.locals.user. We are setting it as a null. So, but why? Why is it setting a property null of undefined? Am I missing something? Let's check out our index.js. I don't think we are missing anything at this point. Hopefully, this is the first time I'm getting this error. That is why I'm troubled to see the very same thing. So we have express.json, we have cookie parser, we have view engine, we have our this not required for that. We don't also require this. Oh yeah, this should be above all the routes, or else it won't get carried out. Let's try this once more and go back to this. Okay, fine. So what can be the problem now? We have response.locals.user. Okay, so hmm, now that's troubling. Okay, cannot set property user of undefined 34. Oh, so it is locals, not local. Yeah, our page loads now. Okay, and in here we should get, yeah, this is object and it still says null. Fine with me. Yeah, now we want to use this to check our user. So now that are sending in a local user, and let me just check if we have our JWT. Yep, we do have our JWT. Okay, so mm where do we want to go now? We want to go to user route, and we want to uh, conditional render stuff, right? So we want to go to nav.ejs. And why was I going in controllers? Yeah, let me just go to the block controller, and yeah, this is our home page. So you see, now if we check our console log, this request dot locals, I guess we should do one with response as well. Hello. So yeah, let's not console log blogs. It is just flooding that. We don't want that. Yeah, you see, we are getting a user properly over here, and this is coming out as undefined because yeah, it does not exist actually over here. Chalo. So instead of console logging our locals everywhere now, we will see that we have our user, and yeah, I guess that's fine. I don't need to take out the password. Don't, please do that while you're doing in future. The simplest way would be user, and then make it another object. Say that id is user dot id, and uh, sorry, email will be requiring, so I will say email will be user dot email. All right, now this will be sending us a proper user instead of everyone with a password and all. Yeah, we need to go to our home page. Yep, we do get a proper user with just the required stuff over here. Unlike over here, we were getting with the password and all, right? Chalo. Now this was going as a JSON and it looked very nice, but I don't mind it. We will be requiring this guy only. Fine. Chalo. So uh, with our this new profound knowledge of locals, we can use this guys, and this local can sit over here, and local is locals, all the objects or variables inside your local na are set like this. Okay, inside our user check, we don't need to do this. In fact, yeah, this is fine because we don't want to have a user with another user and then that, so this should do it better. Chalo. So if I come back to my nav.ejs na, we will be able to do something with it. Now what we are supposed to do with this is yeah, we want to conditionally render this out, so we will now say uh, in here welcome user. Instead of saying welcome user na, we will say, we will see that if we have user, we will say do something. So we will do this, and yeah, we will have our logout button. So let me just say one more EJS over here and close this. We will see else, and apart from, yeah, and let's just uncomment this. Chalo. So yeah, now we have all this. We also want to conditionally render our this sign up page. So we have our user, and instead of saying just user now, we will say EJS out. So what is this? Put an equal to over here, and EJS out means that it will print something in this place. So we want to print the user email. Okay, fine. Now that this part is set up, we don't need to worry about this part. We want to conditionally render our sign up as well. So I will once more do EJS, and I will say if we have user, uh, we will say user. Okay, and yeah, only if we have a user you want to, yeah, if you don't have a user you want to show this, right? I very much doubt this will work. We can try and refresh it. Oh, it works. It says welcome test@email.com, and it does not render this out as well. And clicking on log out, it says cannot get log out. So we need to say create a route for the logout. So mhm, yeah, in this only we will create our logout route, and we will say get logout, and it should do this. Chalo. And instead of saying rest dot send done, I will say response dot redirect, and we will redirect the user to the home page. So I will just say blogs over here. Fine. And this time if you go to a logout page, we do come back to the home page, and you see we don't have our JWT anymore. And clicking on logout login, it takes us to this part. Okay, so chalo and log it in. Yeah, it doesn't work. His email, right? Submit it. Yeah, we have our logout, and we no longer see our that option. We can also create a, this is proper blog, and this is good one, and hello there, and submit it. Yep, you see all of this is in order, and we have our this. And yeah, click over here. When you're logged out, it won't allow you to create a new blog. Okay, and we have a sign up option as well, and our JWT also gets deleted. Fine, now we talked about all this and we are past our time, but I just wanted to show you guys about seeding. But what I would like you guys to do is figure it out and tell me if you guys could were able to do it. And yeah, that is it for the day. We can stop our server. We have made our website, and I did not start my recording in the second half. Chalo, so I'm very sorry for that. Anything else you guys have any doubt, please ask me. No doubts?